The thing about knowledge is we don't know what you're going to do with knowledge, and there are a lot of creative ways that you can use the things that you learn in school. So I can say something like, I would recommend that you go to college, and that can feel abstract because why would you do something if it's just going to be the same experience that you've had at your own school? We can observe that the school system is not equal across the board. Like the concept of a school system kind of makes it seem like there is one system, but there are a whole bunch. And when we have conversations with teachers and administrators and parents, there are often different goals that conflict and aren't necessarily relevant for the particular frame that we're having the discussion in. If we have board meetings with parents and administrators, the parents often have ranges of ages that their kids are, while teachers might be focused on a particular age group, having been trained in a particular subject. So if the goal is to holistically prepare students for society, while we automate the parts of society that the older generations have learned, it can be very confusing why we're trying to apply older principles to modern contexts without adjusting what happens. My major in college was learning and education studies with a concentration in applied learning science. The most visible career that I've had has been in software engineering, and I've been confused why learning science hasn't been baked into the ways that we approach software. I've heard companies describe, I was going to say complain. It isn't that the company complains, but I've heard hiring managers describe that it's difficult to find qualified candidates. Very often, the person who's responsible for making the decision of hiring is looking for a kind of creativity that is very difficult to automate. Because if you could automate that part of creativity, you would, from the perspective of an organization whose goal is to provide income for all of the people who work for that organization. If it's difficult for us to fund all of the people who compose us, how do we find solutions? Like, what is the creative way to approach that problem? The idea of saving money often comes down to, well, one of the ways an organization can save money is by reducing headcount, which scares a lot of people. And when people are afraid for their job, they often make decisions that aren't sustainable in the long term. So, how do we address this problem? Also, what is the problem? I'm going to upload this video to YouTube and ask Gemini to summarize this video and try to figure out the crux of what I'm getting at. Then I'm going to upload that summary to ChatGPT and Grok using a prompt engineering language that I designed called Swoop. Swoop is spelled SPW. The reason that I upload my videos to YouTube and ask Gemini to summarize them is I want to see what the AI picks out from what I think that I've said. I'm often unsure if the things that I say have any substance, and I want to make sure that I'm actually moving forward and not just spiraling around the same points. I have a few group chats that I consistently consult to make sure I'm not insane, and that's been helpful. So I'm also going to share this video with them and see if they have any ideas about the learning that we've done together so we can build curricula through 2026. If we can observe that students are becoming increasingly disengaged from the school structure, we can blame the students or acknowledge the systemic problems or systemic challenges that might contribute to that. My personal belief is that we as adults need to model that we can learn and learning can be fun. Passively observing screens without applying the things that we see to our own lives encourages a pattern of consumption that doesn't lead to sustainable reward. I can say things like create more than you consume and believe that I do. If I just keep on making videos where I say create more than you consume, do I actually create opportunities for people to explore what that Do I actually create opportunities for people to explore what that might mean with respect to their own skills? One of my personal beliefs is that if you go through 4 years of college, you can ask your professors specific questions and have relationship with other students and find out what people are putting into practice. Then, at the very least, applying the motivation, then, at the very least, going into the world with the motivation that you have about the thing that you spent all this time and maybe a lot of money to study can be motivating for at least the next generation. Navigating nihilism can be challenging, and we can find meaning in the things that we do. In my own experience, navigating nihilism has taken a long time, and the pursuit of meaning has been challenging. While I was in college, I founded a student organization called Student Body for Meaningful Education. This organization had 3 committees: discussion, connection, and creation. I interviewed administrators, faculty, and students, asking why they were doing what they did. Why are we here? Let's talk about it. When I go live, I often read research reports. I often read research papers and generate deep research reports with both ChatGPT and Gemini. I have conversations with people who have been in my community for years. We talk about how we relate to the material and what we might do together to make the material more accessible to others. I'm curious how I can extend this into other domains and make it more accessible. Leave a comment and I'll try to make a video today. Today is December 20th, 2025. When we share time and share meaning, what happens? Cheers.